Good morning. I'm sitting here watching the clock go, and hey, I realized I hadn't done a sound check. So I quick did a sound check, and of course it came out gibberish, so I had to do a second sound check to make sure it came out with my voice, and 3:33 slipped past me. So you see, sometimes I don't get it right. I missed 3:33. And I'm not going to sit here for another hour and 10 minutes waiting for 4:44. Oh, I love those triple numbers, but I could have stopped and turned the clock back if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that either. That's crazy. It takes too much time. The title that I selected for today is So Many Still Cling to Old Paradigm. I spent most of the day yesterday helping a friend save her home from foreclosure. As I researched court decisions on the subject, I found a mixed bag. Some judges saw the fraud of the banks and ruled in favor of the people, while others ignored the truth and decided cases in the bank's favor. How the latter can still happen when there is so much available information regarding the fraud surprises me. Yet I know how difficult it is to let go of the familiar ways. If we look, we can see that many still cling to old paradigm thinking in most areas of human life, even as new energies sweep the planet. Even I seem to identify strongly with those that struggle to be free, yet have trouble focusing on the new world being created. Why, I asked, am I not experiencing as much of the change as I'd like? It's your job to help those that are weary and let them know they are not alone, is the answer I get. I'll start with the latter part of that blurb. Okay. I have been taken up with doing legal research and stuff a lot lately, both in my own case and helping others. And in fact, I got a call last night from the professor. I'm teaching or giving a guest lecture in 3 world religion classes today, 2 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. And then I have a meeting tonight with Margie and the Love Line. But he has a friend in Hawaii, actually, that's being foreclosed on today. And he was picking my brain for information. And one of the things that I've noticed is the western states in the United States seem to be more stuck in the old ways. I mean, California seemed to have a lot of decisions favoring the banks, which from a so-called progressive state surprised me. And some of the states that aren't as progressive, like Florida, there's been a good number of judges that are ruling in favor of the people. But as I talked with my friend, I shared with him that one of the real big stumbling blocks in this whole foreclosure mess is the fact that judges' retirement fund, which is an 801k, you've heard of 401ks, but the judges have 801ks. I believe I'm saying that like it is. That's how I remember it. But those are funded about 2/3 by mortgage-backed securities, which means that the judges have a vested interest in deciding in behalf of the banks, because if the banks lose, they lose, which is not supposed to be that way. That's not how justice is supposed to be dispensed in our world. Judges are supposed to be fair and objective and unbiased, but when you have biased judges, it's hard to get fair rulings based on truth and based on the actual law. The actual law does not support the banks and their foreclosure. They broke the rules. And of course, the old paradigm, as people cling to the old paradigm, they realize that our economy as we've known it, as our governance as we've known it, our corporate structures as we've known them, cannot exist in the new paradigm. So there's a lot of people that are very much entrapped in this old paradigm thinking. And continuing with the conversation with my professor friend, he said that in his class he notices how many people, as far as religions, cling to their old their way that they see things. They're locked in, and they do not even wish to consider any other options. They're not at all open-minded and willing to see another way of looking at something. And this is true throughout, I believe, human culture. Even with the energies that are sweeping the planet, people are still clinging to what is familiar, what has been, well, that's the way of it, I can't see it any other way. And they cling to what is known. They cling to the old paradigm. And the old paradigm is giving way to the new. I can see that when I take time to focus there, but I'm drawn more and more into helping people and myself uh, with legal issues where people don't want to see uh, the new way. They don't want to rule based on law. They want to rule based on maintaining the status quo, because maintaining the status quo is the only way that they can feel secure. And so I feel this struggle in people. I feel it. I mean, I know that things are changing. I know that the old is giving way to the new. And yet it's so difficult for so many people to get caught up in the euphoria, because they don't even see that the euphoria is there. They don't feel it. And there's times I don't feel it when I get so bogged down in doing the legal research and stuff like that. It does not make me feel good. It's a struggle for me, because it's not something that I would like to do. I get so, when I see good decisions and stuff like that, and where I see where the law is benefits mankind, I get excited. But then I see the opposite side of it, where people still rule terribly, and where people pay a high price for trying to stand up for the truth and trying to maintain is not the right word. I was going to say maintain the new way. How can you maintain something that's new? You have to let go of the old before you can get into the new. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of people. So if you're involved, if you're one of those that has trouble seeing the new energies that are coming in and feeling it, feeling the euphoria, I can identify with you. I thought of Anastasia as I sat there in the meditation room. I thought of Anastasia, how she would purposefully take in the dark energies and transmute it. And many, many are the times that I have felt that that's what I have to do. I have to look at these things and recognize that there's a lot of my brothers and sisters that are there, struggling to maintain, just to maintain in this world as we're going through the sweeping changes. Maintain what? Maintain a level, an equilibrium, not get knocked over in the energy by the energies that are swiftly moving into the planet and into the human consciousness, and just trying to be able to stand, just to be able to stand up and to keep going day after day, when all of the underworlds are opening up and all of the darkness is being exposed, all of the ignorance, all of the negative energies are coming to the surface. That's just the way it is. As the light comes in stronger and stronger, the dark rises up because it's losing its grip. If you want to look at it as a struggle between light and dark, the dark is losing its grip because the light is shining more and more, and it's actually under the dark, pushing the dark up. It's not coming down. Well, it's probably doing both. But I like to look at it as as the truth is coming up, the light of truth is coming up from the surface, pushing everything up with it so that we can bring it from the unconscious level of our being to the conscious level of our being and make a new decision. From the somebody said that the ego dwells in the gut. Now, I don't know that I necessarily believe that, and the light is in the mind. I don't necessarily believe that either. I think that it could be the reverse, that trust your gut might be the way to go. But again, we have all different ways of explaining that, and it depends where the individual is. We're each going to speak from the perspective of what we're experiencing, what we're thinking, what's going on in our life right now. We're going to do that. And we need to allow each other to be where they are. I'm not right. Neither are you. We each are doing the best we can where we are with the energies that we're feeling right now. Right now. And I believe the most important thing that we can give to ourselves and to each other is grace. Grace to allow people to be where they are. If they're still clinging to the old paradigm, love them anyway. Don't fight them and say that, hey, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Stand up for the truth. By all means, if you're in a legal situation, you must stand up for the truth. You must stand up against all odds. You must stand up, even if you've got a corrupt judge. You must see him not as a corrupt judge, but as a human being that's afraid and doesn't want to let go of his or her 801k by deciding against the banks, because the banks they see as their security for the future. Understand that that's the way it is. That's the reality that they're dealing with. And give grace. See them as a human being having a struggle. Yes, stand up for the truth. Speak the truth. Present what you have learned and be willing to explore. Be willing to explore, because almost everything in our culture, as I've said many times, is backwards. It's a lie. It's a deception. It's fraud. Almost everything. We've not been told the truth for a very long time. In our religions, in our governments, in our businesses, we've not been told the truth, even in our education. As I go to talk to the students today at the local college about New Age spirituality, whatever the heck that is, that's what I'm billed as. But I just will share my experience, because that's all any of us have. We have our experience, and I will encourage the kids to develop a relationship with God for themselves beyond religion, because that's where we're going, folks. We're going beyond religion. We're going beyond government as we've known it. We're going beyond a business model that we've known. We're going beyond that. It's not necessarily going to happen click on December 21st, although there could be a major triggering event that takes place. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. But I know that a lot of us are feeling the tension between the old and the new. And honor yourself in that. Give yourself grace. You don't have to get it perfect. I mean, some people say, well, if you have any fear at all, you're not going to make it in the ascension. That's bunk. We all have fear. There's only two kinds of people on this earth: those that admit that they feel fear, and those that refuse to admit that they feel fear. We all feel the fear. We all feel the tension going on between the old paradigm and the new paradigm, the old way of thinking and the new way of seeing. We all have that tension, and it's always fearful for us. Admit it, own it, love yourself, whatever you're feeling. That's going to be my message for today. And once again, I thank you for listening. I do have a very, very, very busy day today. And whatever you have on your plate for today, do the very best you can and give yourself a little bit of breathing space, a little bit of grace. And a little bit of grace will go a long way. Namaste. Thank you for listening.